Welcome. This video, we're going to talk about demand for health insurance. Wait, demand again? So much demand. Have we already talked about this? Well, we talked about demand for health. Why would you use health? That's not the same thing as insurance, is it? Nope, insurance is something you buy. Health you can't buy. We talked about demand for medical care. Oh, that's the same, right? No, that's not the same. Medical care is something you can buy. And in the US, we might do that differently than we do in other countries, right? So I spent some time in Cameroon wandering around their healthcare system, luckily not as a patient, but you just show up at a hospital, you bring your money and you pay for it. Well, how do we consume medical care? Here in the US, the majority of people, if they have a good job or they're able to get funds together, they have insurance. Insurance is really useful for a lot of things. So we're going to talk today about why would you choose to consume that medical care through insurance rather than in this other way of just showing up and paying cash. To understand why we might want to buy insurance rather than just go and directly buy this good, we're going to have to understand the components of demand. How does the system work? Let's move to the whiteboard. Here we are. Demand for health insurance. So the first thing we want to talk about is something we're going to call the conventional model. Why would you want insurance? Well, what if you get cancer? I hope you don't. I hope I don't. But it might happen. There are some genetic factors, there are some environmental factors, there's some luck, apparently. So if that happens, that's going to be bad. I would like to have that covered if that happened to me. But I don't know if it's going to happen to me or not. So the choices that individuals make as healthcare consumers, there's a lot of uncertainty. Involve a lot of uncertainty. And I picked cancer for a reason for my example. There could be a lot of risk. In this case, there's a lot of financial risk as well. That cancer is a very expensive disease to come down with. The current treatments are very expensive. So not only am I not sure if I'm going to get it, if I get it, that could be very financially disastrous. What would be a nice fix for this? It would be if when this really bad thing happened to me, if I also didn't have to worry about paying for it. What we would like to do is we would like to transfer this risk away from ourselves onto someone else. In fact, if you'll take my risk, I'll pay you some money to get that out of my life. So this conventional model, it assumes people purchase insurance to avoid or transfer risk. Essentially, we're transferring risk to a bigger pool. Let's think about this in a really simple way. I have a coin right here. It's actually a euro because who uses coins these days anyway? So I've got €1 coin. We'll call this Europe and we'll call this Michelangelo. If I were to flip this coin right now, what do you think it'll be? Let's do it. Woo! What is it? I could have stopped the video, but you never know. It's Michelangelo. Did you guess that? Okay. What was the probability? 50-50? What if I flipped this coin 100 times? How often do you think I would come up Michelangelo? What if I flipped it 1,000 times or 10,000 times? What's the probability? How many of those times would you guess I would get Michelangelo? It should be about half. This is whatever the European Union is issuing these days. It should be a fair coin. So if we had 10,000 flips of this coin, it'd be pretty easy to say how many Michelangelos would come up. If we just did it once, if you guys guessed randomly, then probably about half of you were right and half of you were wrong. Here's the thing with predicting health risks. It's really hard on one person. If I were to pick any one of you and ask what your chance was of getting the flu in a given winter season, it'd be hard to say. But if I was looking at the entire population of a university, I'd have a pretty good guess for about how many people. I wouldn't know which ones, but I'd know about how many. This is why insurance is going to be so useful to us.